Hello, this is Joyce Latimer with the Virginia Tech Perennials program. This is about the time of year I get asked about how to improve branching of Echinacea. So let's talk about applying Configure early in production. Configure is the 6B8 product from Fine Americas, and Echinacea has been very responsive to Configure. Configure increases the basal branching, thereby filling the pots out more quickly. Now these are just some of the cultivars that are responsive to Configure. With a single 600 part per million foliar spray applied about 2 weeks after planting liners, we can get 2 to 5 times the number of basal branches compared to the untreated controls. And that's at just 4 weeks after treatment. Now, unlike some of our other perennials, Configure actually increases Echinacea's capacity for branching. In other words, like you see here with Harvest Moon, the control plants do not catch up over the production period. So on the finished plants, we still have more branches on the plants we treated with Configure. However, our research does indicate that we can get better results with earlier application. In this study, we applied 600 parts per million at the time of planting, that's 0 weeks after planting, or at weekly intervals up to 4 weeks after planting. Now this picture was taken at 8 weeks after planting, and all of our treated plants, regardless of when we treated them, had 7 to 8 basal branches, whereas our controls only averaged about 2 branches. We also had better pot fill. Well, that would suggest then that timing doesn't matter. But if you look at these plants, these same plants, at 4 weeks after planting, look at the increase in branching we have with the plants that are treated early at that 0 or 1 week after planting. And we also have that improvement in pot fill. Now if you look at these same plants at 6 weeks after planting, these are the ones that were treated at 0 weeks after planting, basically at the time of planting, they're already ready for market. And there were no adverse effects on root growth, so Configure can actually help us finish Echinacea faster. So if you haven't received your Echinacea liners yet, you will be getting those soon, and you want to plan to treat them early. So let's go over the key points for treating Echinacea with Configure. First, make that first application in the liner tray, but the liners should be actively growing with 2 to 4 leaves. You'll want to treat with somewhere between 300 and 600 parts per million Configure. Then repeat that application within 1 week after potting. Our new research has shown that we get better results with multiple applications. Try to make sure you've got 2 to 3 weeks between those treatments, but make your first one shortly after you make that, your first one in the liner tray and the second one shortly after potting. Make sure you're using the label recommended volume. You want to thoroughly wet the leaves and crown. Remember that Configure is primarily taken up by the leaves and is not readily translocated, so you want to make sure that crown gets treated. Consider using labeled surfactants. They're not required, but they may increase the activity. And as with all of your PTR applications, make sure you're applying those under low-stress conditions. And for more information on our research results, visit our website and just let me know if I can help.